welcome to the Dad and Sons Trash Consultation Clinic. You ditch it, we pitch it. We're here to talk about garbage and its garbage-related things, since we are the #1 rated waste disposal discussion podcast this side of the Chattahoochee. Our hosts include the intrepid Liam Edwards.
Chattahoochee.
What the fuck is a Chattahoochee?
Yes.
And as well, we have the original, the formidable, the unpredictable, the biblical Matt Visual.
How do you spell Chattahoochee?
Chatahoochie.
Oh, my Jesus Christ.
How do you spell Matt?
Mack.
Mac.
Is that what you said?
Matt.
Hello, Matt and Liam. How are you boys doing?
Doing swell, thank you, George. How about you?
I'm George. Here to talk to you guys and everyone about the stupid bullshit we've dealt with this week.
What have I missed?
I don't know if you've missed much, because I haven't played a whole lot of video games this week. I've just been watching like Werner Herzog documentaries and an anime called Ghost Stories. We'll get to it.
Speaking of that, we should just dive straight into that one, because we got a lot of comments last week about me and Matt not hearing you say that you were watching an anime called Ghost Stories, and then all of a sudden everyone was like, "You dropped Boku no Hero Academia for this Ghost Stories thing." I'm assuming it's trash then.
I mean, I don't know if I dropped it permanently so much as I just...
George, watching 8 episodes of like a 55 episode, oh, like 60 episode now
you might as well have
series,
dropped it.
you just fucking drop that shit. Don't give me that.
I mean, you know what James Bond says, never say never.
When it comes down to you, George, you're never going to watch that shit again. It's gone.
I consider that a challenge. The more you naysay, the more I want to watch it just to prove you wrong, not because I actually like
do it.
I'm so confident. I'm so confident that you won't watch it. See, the only time you would watch it, it would be like 5 years from now. 5 years from now, if we're still doing this podcast, you're going to be like, "Oh, dude, guess what? I watched Boku no Hero. I proved you're wrong." I'm like, no, you did it. No, you didn't.
What?
There's so much
What?
anime.
If you're saying
Attack on
that
Titan
I won't,
will probably finish 5 years from now. Probably.
if I finish it 5 years from now, that doesn't count? How does it...
I don't know whether Matt's using reverse psychology or
Do you...
some sneaky
Or
ploy.
just disappointed. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both.
You've just given me a 5-year deadline. I gotta rush now.
5 years. Jesus, George. Oh
Tell
my
us
God.
about why this Ghost Stories anime then is so much better than Boku no Hero Academia.
It doesn't look good. Let me tell you.
Okay, I got an email from a fan suggesting an anime called Ghost Stories. I looked up this anime called Ghost Stories, and what had happened with this anime called Ghost Stories is that some Japanese people made a Japanese anime for Japanese people about spooky Japanese ghost stories that are a little weird. One is a hand that comes out of a toilet and grabs the kids while they're getting spooked. I'm not even lying. That's the actual ghost in this particular ghost story. But when they sent this anime over to us weeb pieces of shit in the West, because I guess there's some people out there who will watch anything, any cheap Japanese cartoon made for children, so long as it gets localized somehow. They gave the voice actors little to no direction, so the voice actors started improvising some incredibly vulgar, explicit shock comedy that they put into the dub of what is a very vanilla regular girl with special abilities fights a new monster each week on this episode series. And at first it was hilarious and cute, and then as I progressed from episode 5 to 6, I started to get a weird cynicism to it, where it felt like the voice actors were playing up how absurd the improvising they were making was for the sake of cashing in a stupid joke thing. But it still weird to think that we live in a universe where this happened. I don't know if you guys have seen any clips of this dub, but it's surreal to know that this is the official product that the publisher and distributor and all the bosses that were working on this anime called Ghost Stories let pass. There are scenes where the English voice actors will like go on about evangelism and how nothing is more powerful than the spirit of Jesus Christ when these people are fighting ghosts that are like slapping them around rooms, and there's a lot of dated pop culture references. At some point, someone says, "Dude, you got Adele," because it's from like 2003, and the voice actors were just making this shit up as they go along, and it's. I don't know if you should go 8 episodes in, but it's hilarious.
Wow,
and it's
8 is your
surreal,
limit, huh?
and
Matt, I feel like
out.
we've lost all hope because we were just talking about him watching Boku no within like 5 years. Yeah, this is an anime from 2001.
You know,
George
he
is
likes
a
his old garbage. He does love his old garbage. How's that smell, George, over there? How does that smell?
Kind of like, you know when you spill something on the carpet and over the next hour, a kind of like musty odor starts to combine with the liquid of what you spilled on the carpet?
And then for some reason there's hardwood floors under it, so it just swells up.
Untreated hardwood floors that are still porous.
Oh, that's gross.
Well, you asked. You asked, how's it smell?
Yeah, you like that garbage. You love that garbage.
I need to take a shower and change my clothes. I just woke up and walked over here. I don't have good smells going yet.
Wow.
How about you guys?
Well, speaking of scary stories. All right, so I moved over. I'm a transplant, right? That's what they call the people who move over here from other states. Transplant.
You're a transplant?
I'm a transplant. That's what they call it. I never knew that's what it was called until I was one. And then, so I'm trying to, like, I don't know, not be alone. Like, okay, I'm living with family right now, but it's so weird not having any human interaction, you know, because I'm a very social person. But it's just like, Jesus Christ, like, I need to get some friends or something.
Oh, no.
Right?
Dude, don't move to Japan then. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, all right. So it's like a little bit different because I was living by myself in Georgia. I mean, my friends were in like South Cal and Jacksonville or whatever like that. But there's a little difference here. I'm over here, new job, new everything, you know. So I'm like, man, I need something like to tie me down. Because I'm floating up in the air, like just doing all sorts of new shit. And I just like, Jesus Christ, I need someone like just to sit down, be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Let's play some games or something. Let's go watch a movie or something. Yeah. So last night I was like, you know what? Whatever. I can do this junk by myself. I went to go see a movie, and the Mission Impossible was a little late. It was like 10 o'clock, and I was like, 10 o'clock podcast tomorrow. Let's do The Nun. I didn't look up any reviews. Just went in and watched The Nun, and man, that was a piece of shit. I can't believe that I wasted 130 minutes.
I didn't even know about The Nun. I just saw The Nun on your outline, and I was like, oh my god, what did Matt get himself into this week? Jeez.
Sorry, 96 minutes.
I'm pretty proud of you, though, Matt. Like, you went by yourself and wasted 130 minutes.
That's the first time I've ever went to the movies by myself.
You didn't
really
waste...
first?
You didn't waste 130 minutes for someone else's time. Matt, I exactly know what you're feeling, because like the first time I ever went to the cinema by myself, I also wasted like 130 minutes watching Prometheus.
At least Prometheus looked good and
Prometheus
had that
garbage.
sexy black guy in there.
Fuck that.
It had that sexy black guy. Idris Elba? Oh my god.
That's true.
Man, I want a tall glass of him. You know what I'm saying?
Is the nun not sexy? Is the aforementioned nun?
No, the nuns are all the women are wearing clothes. It's not that type of scary movie.
So
Okay.
Is there, what's the monster in the nun? Is it about a nun who eats people?
It's literally it's like watching someone walk through a haunted house. That's basically what this like story was like watching. Like
So you watch
somebody
someone
would
else
come
get
out,
spooked?
creep you out, spook you out, ooh, and then they'll walk away, and you won't get hurt. I was just like, what is the point of this? What is the point of this? You're like brushing, past with demons, and they're just letting you go? No. As soon as they catch you, you should be gone. You should be dead. Shoot, they learned this in Scary Movie. Like, come on, man.
What's like the demon's special power? I mean, do they have like big claws or what is threatening?
Hallucinations, mostly.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
That's all?
Yeah, hallucinations and...
I mean, you can just learn to ignore those.
I don't know, demon stuff, like pushing people.
Oh, that actually might...
There was like this one time, the most the demon has ever done is lock someone in a coffin, like, and ring some bells.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds pretty intense, but ringing bells, on the other hand, and demon hallucinations, those are things that you eventually could get used to, and like settle for.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this demon, they're great. They push me around. They give me some hallucinations. But if the demon was like a really good cook, you could put up with that.
I guess. I don't know. The way the demon looked, dude, it wasn't... They had some good imagery, but that's pretty much it. And they had this, like, supernatural element that almost could have been slightly superhero-y, but they didn't lean too much into it. They kind of just, like, tickled it, dipped their toe in the water. I'm like, come on.
Tickled the superhero.
If you were going to go wild and have, like, these relics like you will see in Constantine, might as well just lean freaking into it.
So wait, is the nun a superhero or a demon?
Oh, my God. No, well... The nun is the good person. I'm assuming.
Wait,
what?
You saw the movie.
There's a nun who actually played a good, like, they casted her pretty well, I would say. She had to play a sucky character, but they casted her pretty well, which is usually what happens in these movies. These young star actors, they get, whatever they can get, to start off. And hopefully they get something better. I don't know if she's been in anything else. I haven't seen her in anything else, but she was pretty decent. Everyone else was forgettable. Which was sad. But
supposedly the new Halloween is pretty good.
Oh, I saw the commercial for that before watching The Nun, and I was like, man, that's a better movie.
Man, I wish I was watching this trailer
movie
for 130 minutes.
Like, at least if that sucked, at least you could be like, oh, man, the new Halloween movie, man. I grew up with that stuff. This one sucked. This one, The Nun, it's throwaway. It's garbage. You sneeze in a tissue, it's gone. It's gone.
Like tissues in the rain.
Like George's anime stains.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Stop looking at the comment, George. We know
Good 8
it's
times
there.
and he's done, right? Good 8 strokes.
8 times and he just discards them away like tissue.
And at some point in the future, we're gonna be like thinking tweets and flying through space and having socialized healthcare and nuclear fusion.
And you're going to be able to consume 5 different animes, all 8 episodes of each one of them at the same time.
I will finally finish season 1 of Boku no Hero Academia.
I'm going to fucking come to America and we're going to sit down and we're going to fucking watch it.
Oh my gosh, he's not going to be... Look, the way George
It's
watched
gonna
stuff...
get to the
at
last minute. It's going to get to the last minute of the 8th episode and I'm just going to see him like physically twitching and physically like convulsing on his sofa that he can't...
I'm just gonna like disintegrate into dust.
Like, George, you have to watch.
Just before the credits.
You're missing things.
It's like light to a vampire.
George, you need to watch the dub because you do too many things while you're watching anime.
Like nuns down the drain.
You know, one thing I gotta mention
Yeah.
before we move on from California and being alone in California is I'm also alone in terms of there's no black people in South California.
Wait, in what California?
South California. So, okay, let me be.
It might just be your neighborhood.
Okay. I'm sure they're in Compton. Okay, can we all agree? I'm sure they're in Compton, which is considered South California, which is near LA. But when it comes down to
it's Los Angeles.
Lake Elsinore, all the way down to San Diego, even Oceanside, there is. When I say there's barely black people, I mean there's barely black people. Like, for instance, Orange County, right? Where
Which
our
is
boy
real
Jimmy,
famous, super popular.
our boy Jimmy lives.
Yeah, the
There's
infamous.
a 1.5%.
Really?
Yes.
In Orange County?
In Orange County.
That's like Atlanta's like 60%.
It looks like it was like I went down to San Diego, which is like a nice city. It's a really nice city. I'm moving there, but I'm looking around and I couldn't find anybody. They're all just there, and it's not just white people. It's a mix. You know, you have some Hispanics, mostly like a lot of Asian people, and then white people, and then a lot of mixed race. But none.
We must have some dads or sons chilling in California who could.
They're all white.
Get in touch.
You're all white.
They've smothered the brothers.
Brothers, there's the dad, sons, and then the brothers.
They've covered the brothers.
Where are the brothers at?
Where are the brothers? Yeah.
And
the
don't get me wrong.
the brothers.
Don't get me wrong.
You're hooked
I do
on the
not
brothers.
mind. I mean, most of my friends are white. I mean, why am I saying it like that? Why am I saying like, oh, I have a black friend? That means I'm not racist.
Liam's British.
No, it's just weird to me to think that they're like. I feel like if I move there, I will be trapped or something. Like, if there's a reason why there's no black people, right?
Maybe you'll find out.
It's not like a cult thing going on there, and they're like, I don't want a story of me escaping some like basement in San Diego.
Oh, dude, yeah, I don't want no get out situation for you.
It's definitely gonna be a get out situation happening
I
here.
can't believe that black people are a 1.7% minority in Orange fucking which to me, and
look it up.
I did. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page now.
Yeah.
Out of 3 million people in the big residential suburb of like America's second major city. Wow.
Because I had to Google it up because it's that bad. It's that
You
bad.
know,
And
that's kinda like Atlanta.
You could kind of tell because it's a lot. Yeah, Atlanta's way different. You could kind of tell.
Well, Atlanta, once you go like north up to Buckhead and Canton, the spectrum changes dramatically.
Yeah. And like even Atlanta, like there's a mix in the heart of Atlanta. Too.
Absolutely.
Like you'll see, you turn around and there's somebody there. When I go to San Diego, there could be a chance that I never see a black person. That is pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That's pretty
Even
bad.
I see
but
black
no one
people
treats me
in
bad.
Japan.
No one treats me bad. Everyone smiles. So I assume that there isn't racism. I assume online people say people are racist, but I haven't dealt with anything. And the closest thing I've ever dealt with was when I went to a super bougie vegan place, and these people look like they're from LA. No hair out of place, nothing. They're supermodels working at a restaurant. I mean, perfect boys. Like they looked like angels. They looked like angels. Like
Maybe they were dad and son listeners.
no, absolutely not.
Come on.
Absolutely not. Not these guys specifically, because my gosh, they assumed so much. They assumed a big tip. They assumed like a certain level of service. Like you could not get up out of your seat and ask for help. you know, from a different server. You're like, oh, can I get some napkins? No. Like, I swear, like, I was like, oh, can I get some napkins? People will look into my eyes and turn away. I was like, oh my God, this is so different from freaking Atlanta and Miami. So different. I was just like, geez. Maybe it's just this place. I mean, I haven't been to many sit-down places. I've been to a lot of, like, kind of mom and pop, you know, order at the stand type places. But yeah, man, it's strange in California, man. It's gonna be interesting getting used to that. Of course, I'm reserve judgment until I've lived here for like a year or something and see how it goes. But yeah, it's super strange. Anyone who lives in California, please school me. I would love to be schooled. Tell me the places I should go and maybe the places to avoid. So I don't have a get out situation. But yeah.
Well, speaking of American cities and black people.
Yes, let's see the segue, please.
I've been in New York all week.
Wait, what?
Inside of it?
I've been in New York in a game.
Oh, that's totally... Yeah, no.
God, I was like, why didn't you say anything?
Of course I'd fucking say something if I was in America. God damn it, of course.
It just kind of reminds me of, like, my dad when he got his Windows 95 computer and put in a demo disc that had pictures of various vacation destinations. He, like, walked over to my mom and said, guess where me and George went today? We went to Australia. And it was, like, a little cartoon picture on the computer. Anyway,
classic dad and
continue,
sons.
Liam, about how you totally went to New York in a video game.
I totally went to New York, and I don't know very much about New York, but I would say the New York I went to was pretty realistic.
They got good pizza.
Oh my God!
Did they have good pizza?
I don't know. There's pizza places in it.
Can
you make a pizza delivery?
No, but I found a Pizza Hut.
Can you flip the pizza?
From when I
Make a
was a
pizza
delivery.
delivery? Were there any pizza missions whatsoever?
Not that I found so far. I found a Pizza Hut, though,
I
Matt.
completely forgot about that Spider-Man pizza video until just now. And it's the best thing in the world, and if anyone hasn't seen it, they should right now. Just like, go on YouTube and search for Peter, you're ruining pizza, and you will find what you're looking for.
Oh my gosh!
yeah.
No pizzas? Jesus Christ! What a fail! What a
Aside from
fail.
the negative pizzas, because, you know, pizza is the greatest thing.
It is.
I've been playing Spider-Man. Spider-Mons.
Yay! That game looks so freaking good.
It's really good.
Is it?
It's really...
Everyone won't shut up about it, Matt.
I'm kind of in a weird space about it, because it's probably the best AAA game I've played in, like, the past 5 years.
What?
And you just got done with God of War being the 9 out of 10, the dad and son game.
But, but I can see the
Clearly.
flaws of this game all the time. And yet, it doesn't bother me. Because, and everyone said it, but I'm going to retread that ground, the movement and the swinging around the city in this game is possibly the best movement feel in any video game I've ever played.
It looks real good in every clip I've seen.
It is so well executed and makes you feel incredible. I've played the game maybe 15
Does it
hours
make you
now.
feel like Spider-Man?
It makes you feel like Spider-Man, Matt.
Is it like you're really there?
Like every review out there on the internet. Within 2 sentences of every review that was posted on the internet, it makes you feel like Spider-Man. No, but it really does. And jokes aside, the movement in that game is like every other open world game now is going to suck. Because riding on a horse through a field to get to destinations faster is better than running, but it's still shit. Driving through cities is great and fine if you like cars and stuff, but it's still like a means to an end. Whereas swinging through the city in Spider-Man is literally amazing. And it's still amazing to me 15 hours later. There's like times when you'll just be swinging along and then the music will swell. It'll have like the heroic moment when you get close to like a crime going on or something, and then Spider-Man will just get like a huge boost of like vertical speed, and he'll like swing over the top of a skyscraper, just like skimming the top of it, and then he'll like let go of his web and he'll just like float through the air doing like rolls and shit. It's fucking amazing at times when you're moving through that.
So
game.
how does the system determine what you stick your webs onto?
So this is what's really cool. Like, if you remember the old Spider-Man games, basically you just shot a web up out of the screen and you could,
Unless it was
swing,
Spider-Man
right?
2.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 2 is a really good benchmark because that actually nailed it pretty well, but this is better than that. And the way this works is it works, with real physics. Spider-Man, he will shoot his webs automatically to the closest building at an angle, because obviously there's nothing above him, so it's at an angle. So what is really cool about this game is you're not swinging like in a straight line necessarily. You're sort of always like going like an angle, like if you were swinging round a tree kind of thing. But it's so easy to like let go of the web and fire another one and keep like a straight line by like firing out webs left and right, kind of like how they move in Attack on Titan, like with the gears. And what's great is then when you get high above the buildings and there's nothing you can swing your web onto, he just kind of like glides through the air, and then he'll like do like a dive, and then you can like fire your webs again when you go underneath the buildings. Or you can do get power-ups.
We missed a joke to tease a time to tease George about not watching Attack on Titan.
That's
so
true.
I'm gonna go ahead and insert that here. Go ahead and continue, George.
Timestamp that, and emphasis on Attack on Titan joke.
Yeah.
There we go. It's beep boop information
Beep
inputted.
boop. Wonder if that will make it in the edit. Fuhrer George won't let it in.
I guess we'll have to find out at the end of the week when this episode's uploaded what I'll do to that.
But there are like power-ups you can get which will allow you to, boost faster off things. So you can like zip both your webs towards like fans and the top of buildings and poles that hang off like buildings and stuff like that, and you can do like fire 2 webs at them, and then Spider-Man will pull himself towards it and he'll boost off them if you like time your button press correctly. It just feels so damn good, and the movement in that game is great. Like, it has a fast travel option that opens up, and I have not used it once. Like I have no
That's a
idea
good
why
sign.
anyone would not want to swing across the map in that game. But other than that, there are basically only 2 elements to the game. All of the collectible stuff, like, because it's an open world game and the map is fucking absolutely littered like it's a Far Cry game or an Assassin's Creed game with things to collect and things to take pictures of and things to quote, do. And then the other is combat, going to places and then doing the combat. There's not really much else apart from like forced stealth sections where you play as MJ or other characters, which are pretty trash and like easily the worst parts of the game. But when it comes to like the collectible things, this is the really weird thing, because you can see the flaws of this game like immediately. The whole map is littered with shit to collect and stuff to do that isn't that interesting. It's the same as like picking Riddler trophies up in Batman. Like, you do that with Spider-Man's backpacks. You pick up his backpacks that are placed around the city. Or you go take pictures of buildings, and that's it. You just take pictures of buildings. And they all spark like a little memory, and Spider-Man talks about it, which is nice polish and stuff like that. But gameplay-wise...
The photos that you take in photo mode,
Yeah,
can you sell them to the Daily Planet? Sorry, I got my Super Boys confused.
No.
Oh, 8 out of 10.
No, you can't.
Terrible.
But as a quick aside, speaking of photos, photo mode in this game, as everyone who knows who has Twitter, because everyone's fucking spammed the shit out of it, is actually incredible. It's fantastic, and that is a lot of time to waste. But besides from that, you have all these collectible things, and like in any Assassin's Creed game or any Far Cry game, it's just boring. It's tedious work that fills out the map and bumps the hours of gameplay superfluously for no good reason. It's just boring game design. And in Spider-Man, it kind of is as well. And I won't say it's better. Like, the stuff you do, like collecting stuff, is just the same as any other game. Same as getting the Riddler trophies in Batman, or the same as Assassin's Creed and going to points on the map and like doing stuff. You have the towers in Spider-Man that are basically just the same thing that you do in Breath of the Wild or Assassin's Creed, where you go to a tower, you press a button, and then it opens up the map, and you can see more collectibles. But
and
you swing
that makes
to the collectibles, and that's what makes it all the more fun. It literally it doesn't matter. Like, it's a means to an end, and the swinging is just the fun part of the game. So when you're just swinging around the map, collecting all the collectibles, making the numbers on the little stat tracker go higher, it just feels good. Feels good, man. Which is why, like, open world games are gonna really have a tough sell doing the same sort of rote game design of like collectible stuff on the map when you don't have this kind of excellent movement behind it, this wonderful way of moving around the map. It's so easy to get distracted by crimes in this game and just quickly go down for like 30 seconds, help out the citizens of New York, and then swing away like you truly are Spider-Man. It's pretty great. And then that leads to the sort of other part of the game, which is like the story missions, which is pretty good because, like, although the story overall is pretty whatever, very typical comic book story, the characters are really, really good. The performances by the people who play like Spider-Man, which is Yuri Lowenthal, who's a really nice chap. He is amazing as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And the dynamic between like him and MJ and like him and Aunt May is all very, I don't want to say real, but very, very believable. And it is quite, like as in like just believable conversations. It's funny. Not video game conversations. Very normal, believable conversations.
I was watching
which is
another
really nice.
stream of the game, and an MJ rescue MJ mission showed up, and I was thinking about how, like, for as memorable as Peter Parker's character and the villains have always been in whatever iterations of Spider-Man, including some like tertiary side characters like his boss at the newspaper, I don't think I've seen a like really memorable, well realized MJ in any of the like movies or
This is it.
They
this
turn
game
MJ into a like memorable character.
Like, it's not
besides a girl who screams.
Yeah, she's a huge part of this game. Like, you play her at certain sections. I mean, they're the worst part of the game. Apart from the first time you play her when you're like in an art exhibit.
The worst part of the game.
No, but like they are the worst part of the game because it's 4 stealth sections. You have to creep around, taking photos or looking at stuff. Like, it's not great compared to playing a Spider-Man, which is the other main part of the game. It's not that great. Apart from the first part where you're like exploring like an exhibit of like artifacts and you can read about the artifacts and stuff. That's kind of interesting, but still, the other part is like MJ's communication with Spider-Man. Like, there's a lot of like radio talk between them. There's a lot of times where they meet up to discuss like what's happening in the city and stuff like that. And it's all really good conversations and really believable. MJ's performance is really good. And overall, it's quite just enjoyable to see them sort of bantering together. Like, they used to be like a couple. Currently in the game, they're not. And kind of they're dealing with that and also with what's happening with the story. And they're still very friendly with each other and all this kind of stuff. It's good. I'm enjoying it. Oh, the overall story isn't, impressive and it's not going to change the world, but it's a means to an end to get all these nice little segments of performance from the characters, and it's got good character building, I think. And, it has like quite a lot of very familiar Spider-Man characters in it in kind of strange roles, like, Norman Osborn,
the Daily Planet,
Osborn, whatever his name is the mayor. He's the mayor. And he's kind of weirdly good and bad at the same time. And, Dr. Ock is like Pete's boss. And he's like making research that will inevitably lead him to becoming to Dr. Octopus and stuff like that. So
does it do an origin story
in that regard?
Or does it?
No. This is what's kind of good about this game is that it's like Pete's been Spider-Man for 8 years at this point. So what's really kind of fun about this is like when you pick up the backpacks and stuff like that, it's like memorable stuff or stuff that's made up to flesh into like him having a history. So he will just sort of like swing through the city talking to himself. He'll be like, oh, I remember the time I fought Winston Fisk at Christmas. And he'll talk about it and he'll be like, I got a broken rib and I nearly was shot this day. And it's just him sort of reliving his own little memories as he swings through the city. He's been doing the job for quite a while, so
but
he's
they
used to it and
still
stuff.
go through
and
the
he's quite
Doc Ock
confident
story
as well.
Oh.
No, I don't know how far that goes yet because I haven't finished the game, but it's just kind of it's not hidden that the technology Pete is helping him build or helping him get funding for is like robotic.
So he's gonna make tentacles with
this,
and then fly around the city.
He's gonna make like
trouble.
robotic arms. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he has a bit of a beef with the old Oscorp chaps.
They removed the puddle, so I probably won't play.
Yeah, man, those puddles, man. All the puddles are gone.
Or...
No, I'm joking.
Oh,
the game is
wait,
fucking
are you talking about
gorgeous.
the downgrade?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I didn't
Yeah, the
follow this
Puddlegate.
stupidity thing because I was...
Puddlegate, yo.
I was...
Because it's stupid.
stupid to see, like, forcing
Don't
VR...
waste brain cells on it.
Okay, so yeah, since I haven't been following it, explain to me Puddlegate. Give me a synopsis as you remember it. Uh-huh.
There was a picture of the game with puddles, and then there was a picture of the same scene in the game
So that
with
means it's
less
downgraded.
puddles. That's it, George.
No, obviously...
No, that's what some people assume.
All you had to do was
then
describe
Digital
to me
Foundry
and
did a
I'm seething with
performance.
rage.
Did a performance check based on... well, yeah.
This is like a Watch Dogs situation. Like Spider-Man really looked good during E3 and stuff, and then now it just
That's the
looks like
thing
garbage.
is Digital Foundry did like a
garbage
performance
now.
analysis of like the E3 demo compared to like the final game, and they found that the final game actually runs better and at a more stable frame rate and has more like
Fake news.
bloom effects and stuff like that. No.
Fake news.
Goes to California and comes a conservative. Look at him. Look at him.
I think this is like the most liberal place ever.
Fucking fake news over there.
There's like a bunch of hipsters, vegans. This is like my hometown, dude.
But it's good. Speaking of the graphics, it looks beautiful. It's stunning. The game is great, and like as you will have seen from all the photo mode pictures that people are taking, it's a gorgeous game. And Spider-Man's suits all look really cool, and everything's pretty great. But the last thing I want to talk about in this game, because it's the other major part, is the combat. A lot of people compared the combat to the Batman games, which is like no surprise, because it's the Batman games combat put into a Spider-Man game. But it has like a lot more gadgets that he can use. Like he has like all these different like variations of like his web. Like he has like electric web or web bombs or impact webs, and they all do like different things to enemies. And you have like a Red Dead Redemption type scroll wheel where you can quickly hold a button and then change to the web variation that you want to use. And like in the start of the game, it's kind of difficult because Spider-Man moves really fast, and you can press triangle to like flick a web at an enemy and like immediately like zoom towards them and kick them and stuff. So in the beginning it's a little disorientating, and I kind of was like, oh, this is not good. This feels really weird. And Batman is definitely a lot more focused and you're able to pay attention a lot easier in that game. But then as you progress and you get better and better, like anything, you start being able to sort of take control a little more. And when Spidey's like zooming around all over the place, you know, it's because you're directing him to do so. And you'll have like the counter, like the Spidey Sense Tingle animation play, and you'll be able to like quickly dodge and react to that, and you'll flick to like the web variations that will do the most damage and stuff like that. And then once you sort of built up some skills and you've experimented a lot, that combat is really good.
Do you press the counter button?
Really, really good.
Over and over again.
That's the thing is you press the counter. You do press the counter button a lot, but it's how you react after the counter button. Because Spider-Man doesn't counter an attack.
So
he
it's
just
not
dodges
just
out
a
of the way.
win the game button like in
So-
the Batmans.
No.
Okay,
It's literally just a I'm not gonna get hit button. And you get hit hard in this game. Like you have to use something called focus to regain your health, and that the focus takes away from what the suit you're wearing's like ultimate power is. Like every suit has like an ultimate power that once you build up enough focus, you can do certain stuff. So if you need to recover health, you can press down on the D-pad, kind of like in Bloodborne, and you can regain some health. Whereas in Bloodborne, you sacrifice your health for the bullets. Like it kind of takes away from your ultimate bar to give you health. It's like a really good balance between the two, and you can get hit pretty hard. Like there are a lot of like tough enemy variations from guys with rocket launchers that lock onto you. Dudes all have guns, unlike in Batman. Like they have guns and they will fucking fire at you, no problems at all. There's like different enemies with shields that block you and you can't like dodge them or anything. They fire like elemental blasts at you. Like there's a good heavy amount of like variation that makes the combat really challenging. So when you get good at it, it feels even better. Like I almost want to say it's not quite as good as the swinging, because the swinging is probably like one of the game mechanics of the year, hands down. But the combat, once you get good at it and once it starts to like click with you, it's better than the Batman games.
I want to see if this, I'm pretty sure this is doing well. The next one, I want to see some Venom. I want to see some Carnage. Oof.
Yeah, dude, like I feel like I haven't finished the game yet. I haven't tied it all up, but I played like a good 10 to 15 hours of it, and like they've got Spider-Man characters from history coming constantly, so I imagine they're just gonna like make a Spider-Man 2 and like include all the other ones that they didn't include in this one, or they talked about briefly but never introduced and stuff. But this game is good. It's surprisingly good, and for like Insomniac are a pretty like decent developer. They have always made like pretty middle tier to good games. Like I kind of like Sunset Overdrive, and that game felt great, but this game is like AAA polished.
Sunset Overdrive.
Like this is like ultimate AAA polish. Like this feels like out of Insomniac's comfort zone for something that they could like make. Like it's almost bigger than them, I think. It's so well executed, and there's so many tiny details that you pay attention to. Like Kotaku posted about the other day, but like they recorded 2 sets of every radio interaction. For one, when Spider-Man's not swinging, so he doesn't sound out of breath, and then the other one where he is swinging and he sounds kind of exhausted while he's swinging and talking. And it's 2 variations of the same radio chatter. It just depends on what you're doing, which is like insane amount of polish. And like all the little details of the city going on, and like when you land, you can hear people talking about you, people being negative towards Spider-Man, saying, "Take off your mask, Spider-Man, you fucking vigilante, motherfucker." Well, they're not swearing, but And then other guys being like, "I love you, Spider-Man, keep it up."
What about the children?
It's really good. Like,
so wait.
I'm not surprised that it's doing so well. It has its flaws. It's an open world game with not very much variation on what you can do, but when it does the things that are important, like swinging and combat, feeling like a Spider-Man, I don't want to say that.
Injustices of vigilantism. What's this? Spider-Man has to like face criticism for acting beyond the law?
Dude, Spider-Man is having like a goddamn existential crisis all the time. There are so many times when he's just talking to people and he's like, Spider-Man comes to save the day. I wish people would help me, but everyone hates me. And he does say that. He just says like, everyone hates me, like many times. And everyone is pretty negative. Everyone is pretty fucking negative. And like hands up, like Jonah J. Jameson or whatever his name is, JJJ, the old editor of the Daily Bugle, the angry guy who's like, "Spider-Man, get me some pictures of Spider-Man." He has like a radio show in this that pops up now and again after you've like finished missions and affected the city, and he'll be like talking about how much he hates Spider-Man and how much Spider-Man's a bad thing. He is straight up InfoWars, Alex Jones, conspiracist nut nonsense. Oh, he's
No,
awful.
God
Like the
damn.
parallels
So
between
you're-
him
You're
and like
telling me that this like
fucking
hardline
InfoWars type
newspaper
conspiracists is
editor
straight up.
who like ran a stressful but respectable business in the Spider-Man of 15 years ago is now a like angry conspiracy theory podcaster?
Yeah, now he's a.
God damn it, man.
Oh yeah. Full on. He's a. I will do anything to tear down the walls of the Spider-Man.
Is he voiced
Structure.
by J.K. Simmons though?
No, he's not. Which would have been great.
Okay.
But he is straight up like Alex Jones.
That makes me
conspiracy
sad
crazy.
that the Daily Bugle got turned into schmores.
Well, no,
what people wanna
he's not
watch.
working in the Daily Bugle in the game anymore. Like MJ
So
is working in
who-
the Daily Bugle.
Who slams their fist on the desk
She's
and
an
says, Spider-Man,
investigative
get me photos of
journalist now.
Spider-Man.
Well, I imagine it's Spider-Man because the only person taking pictures
This
in
is
that game is
different.
Spider-Man.
What a
and he's
weird
taking
world
a fuck
this,
ton of
this
them.
Spider-Man has to live in. What a strange digitized future. It's changing all the spider rules.
It is. But it's good, guys. It's good. You can just sit down and it feels so comfortable to play.
You know what? I'm tired of this PS4
No.
stuff. Okay, you guys need to move on. Okay.
You need to fucking get over whatever emotional
I'll go
anxiety
over
you
to
still have
Robert's
about
house
getting
right
right
now.
robbed.
Man.
I'll knock on his door, see if he wants to, swap
Come
control.
on, man. You're in Cali now. You're safe. You're not going to get robbed.
I feel like I would get robbed
What
here.
a like nice descriptive sentence. No embellishment.
But Matt, it's
Look,
only
I'm
white
such
people.
I stick out like a sore thumb. I go out for a run in the morning.
Okay, hang
And
on.
it's
I
just
got
like
an
I'm
idea.
the
I'm going to get on
only
Google and
black
type
guy
in the worst
here.
Google search I think I ever have done. Where are the black people in Southern California?
People.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did that same Google. They give you a list, and Compton is on there.
Okay,
It's like
Inglewood, we got
number
LA, Compton, we got LA, Gardenia, is that LA? Oakland, San Francisco.
I feel like
okay.
it is asking for trouble.
Okay.
They're,
Matt, there's a lot of black
all of
people
this is
in
above
Spider-Man.
Orange
Maybe I
County.
just-
None
There's a
of
lot
this.
of black
I've-
people in
None of
Spider-Man.
this stuff is like.
I've had a
below
different
Orange
understanding
County, like
of Orange
San
County
Diego
this
and
whole time. Is
Oceanside.
Orange County like supposed to be? Is it the Buckhead of LA? Is it where the White Flight landed?
No, man.
You're
They're
just
everywhere.
saying words to me at this point.
Yeah,
It's just literally just saying words.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, how does it feel to be like a white guy in Japan? It's got to be like kind
the
of the same concept,
dude. Like it's
I
the
mean-
same.
I mean,
like
it
it seems weird.
Japanese people, they hate Americans too, right? We did some stuff to them in the back in the days.
Dude,
Right? So same
I have
kinda
to deal with
concept,
what
right?
you guys have done. I get like
What
everyone
about
just
your
assumes
accent?
I'm American. if you're not Japanese,
Don't they have
Japanese
accents?
people don't know what accents are.
Wow, you're
Yeah,
being
they do.
ignorant
They
right
have
now.
Ben.
You're being
they have
ignorant.
Ben, and it's not accents. It's the way they
There's
say words differently. It's not so much the sound; it's more about what you end sentence with, or
So that's
the type
the
of
dialects?
variations of the words that you say. Yeah, it's more about dialects. It's called Ben in Japanese, like Kansai Ben or Tokyo
so
Ben.
it's less
or
about,
Okayama
like,
Ben. So
the accent you say the
like,
word with than it is
so
the
desu
grammar
ne,
you structure
nande,
your
naze.
sentences with. Huh.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
like the
'cause
Tokyo people are more reserved, whereas
I've
like
always
Kansai
heard
people
that.
are like
I've always like,
more
oh, you have a
screamy
Tokyo
and
dialect. Oh, you have
angry.
Okinawa dialect. So,
Yeah. So like pretty much like every time you learn
and
Japanese from a
in my
textbook,
brain,
it's like Tokyo.
I assume those were accents.
Like,
wow,
none-
that's weird to think about. That changes everything.
Like I always knew for when I first moved here, like I always knew that the word for why in Japanese, like there are many ways to say it, but the main way is like naze. And like when I say naze to my girlfriend, she's like, ugh, it's fucking nande. And I'm like, oh,
She
she's
says it
like,
just
"Naze."
like that.
Yeah, she gets grossed out when I say Japanese. She's like, "Don't talk Japanese. You sound like you're from Tokyo." I'm just like, "Okay."
So she talks perfect English then.
Yes,
Thank God.
she does. Fortunately, she speaks better English than I do.
With a
and I
local
podcast
or something.
She is. Like, she's an English teacher though. So
Wait, a local learned English so
Did she do the JET program?
that she became an English teacher.
no. She just is a high school master's degree earning English teacher. There's a lot of them in Japan. Like, there's a lot of people who speak fluent English. Some not so well.
She's
but
never been out of Japan?
She has. She was in Australia for a while.
Oh, okay.
Going back to what you were saying, I get it. It's weird because, like, I don't know if it's kind of the same feeling because this is more about language barrier than anything. It's kind of weird not being able to just, like, go outside and have, like, a normal-ass conversation.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to the store or you go somewhere. It's always, like, a weirdly awkward half conversation because it's like, well, I can't speak fluent Japanese and you can't really speak English, so it's like it's pointless at the end of the day sometimes, and it can be incredibly isolating. And for example, like when I'm on the trains or like buses, no matter how many times I've been on that train or bus, it's like people just stare at you. And especially if it's like a day when I've like got my tattoos out, and then it's even more
Wave
so.
and smile.
Blow him a kiss, man.
That would
So,
just
you're
like
never
freak
gonna
them
see
out.
them again.
I think there would be like a national
You think you'd show up on the
inquiry.
news if you waved and smiled
I
at
don't know.
Japanese
There would
people?
be like a national inquiry.
Oh my god!
I'm telling you, there would be like a national
Yeah,
inquiry.
that's what I remember.
Some of them are very friendly, too.
Sexura. Yeah, usually the friendly ones are the ones who've been abroad. They want to speak English.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You can tell they're the youngins, you know? They're not the old people who are like that. The old people like move out the way.
They're either the young'uns or the kind of like crazy old uns.
Yeah.
So speaking of angry black people,
Right, that's what we were talking about. Uh-huh.
I played the new Siege update, and the newest operator is like, I think, my new favorite. They added some kind of like anti-terror police force from the UK, and one of them is a angry black woman who is like shiny and bald, and her portrait art is of her mouth like wide open, and her eyebrows pointed firmly downwards, screaming with the fury of like 1,000 fighting Valkyries. She has an extendable riot shield, and when she's looking at a bad guy with her shield extended, she just starts like cursing at them. And the riot shield is bulletproof, so the bad guys can't shoot through it. It has a taser attached to it, so she can, like, tase people. It slows them down and causes extremely minor amounts of chip damage. And there are now scenes in Siege where you have this character who will be, like, looking at another player. The lady will just be like screaming at them, be like, "You fucking muppet! You fucking muppet! Get out of here!" And the other player just doesn't know what to
shit.
do. It's like seeing this woman like discipline a dog or something. It's like, it's amazing. It's hilarious. And I also really.
Well, wouldn't that, like,
she's
broadcast
a
your,
defender,
like, area?
with the shield, which
location?
changes everything. Because the attackers, if they do their job, they should know what objective the defenders are going to defend anyway. But since she has a bulletproof shield on her, she's like a walking piece of cover. She extends your defensive perimeter almost by like she can plug doorways. If a door breaks, you can just put her there and block it with the shield. There's a lot of really interesting strategies you can do with this lady, and they always look hilarious when you pull them off. And I know I've like not shut up about this game for 3 years, but it boggles my mind, especially now that we are 3 years into it, how much better it gets with every successive upgrade they've made. And the last couple patches had operators that were seemed a little light on ideas. They just like dropped down little proximity mines more or less that would annoy people. This feels like the first time in a while where they've gotten a character that they've added in that actually changes the dynamics and the flow of the game. It's really, really great playing with the shield person on defense. It makes you feel like there's a lot more strategic options that you open up. And since she doesn't really have great guns, it feels balanced. Siege is nowadays balanced in a way where everyone's gun is almost like inversely proportional to the quality of their gadget. So this lady with a bulletproof shield has a gun that does a real bad job of shooting bullets. And I really, though, it's the cursing that sells it for me. The cursing. That's my new favorite feature of Siege, is just like looking at other players and your character just screams curses at them automatically like a babbling brook.
In a game where if you type like cursing, you get banned automatically. Seems kind of like the best decision.
well, no. It's racial slurs, not cursing that gets you banned. I mean, I know that the line between the two is quite blurry, but
for some, for racist people, maybe.
You're not gonna get kicked from Siege for role playing as Clash, the new operator who Matt's
gonna stop playing and he's gonna type in the chat, "Where the black people at?" And then it's gonna be like automatic ban.
Where the black people at, man?
You're not gonna get banned in Siege for saying black people.
I'm pretty sure some racist people could use that if you don't get banned by saying black people. I hate these black people.
That's why they need to be banned.
Well, that's a bad thing to say anyway.
Yeah, it is.
No.
These young kids.
I thought you were going to say, like, I'm afraid to play a multiplayer game again.
These young kids, man. I'm afraid to have a kid in this world right now.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
I don't want them to become a Fortnite player.
Wait. You said, I was thinking about, like, overpopulation and global warming and the cost of college and childbirth services, and you're saying Fortnite's the reason why.
Yes, man. All these kids growing up,
you're afraid of bringing a Fortnite fan into the world?
Real dad and sons-ish.
Okay, I'm gonna say something real dad-ish right now, but like you know how people used to tell us, like, oh, you should go outside, stop playing those damn video games. Like, I'm starting to feel that now.
Dude.
Like, for like these young kids, not for me.
Oh, not for you.
But for these young kids, like, that don't know the world. They don't know the world.
Let's be honest, though. From my point of view, if you go outside and play in America, you're gonna die.
No, you're not.
You don't die from going outside. Come on.
You just run a 1 in 33 chance of dying.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Matt running outside every morning is like upping the risk of death in his life to
you know what?
79%.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Absolutely not wrong.
Whereas, like, if I run in Japan, it's like I'm gonna get offered like cakes, or I'm gonna get offered drugs.
There's these stairs called Death of Stairs here in Lake Elsinore, and I do them. And one day I was like, man, because I never see anybody on the trail, but of course, white people. I think about that constantly. Like, this is I shouldn't think about being murdered up here.
Like, the fact that you have to run up some steps that are like maybe gonna be the scene of your murder.
They're a little steep. Old lady might just trip me on the way down. Break a couple hips. Yeah. So let's hopefully not. Is that George texting me telling me to stop being racist?
I'm ready to segue into BioShock
commercial.
Infinite. Yeah, that.
谷間の暗闇にキラリと光る光の目安らぎ捨ててすべてを捨てて悪を追って空かける Change the apart 君はなぜ君はなぜ戦い続けるのか命をかけて一筋に一筋に無敵の男スパイダーマン Spider-Man.
Come on, let's do this. Come on.
Okay. Oh my God. We're back from the break. This is like what? Attempt number 3?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe attempt number 3 to get us back from the break was me trailing off after saying that we got cool plans in the future, but for now, you Dad and Sons listeners are gonna have to put up with this shit.
Train wreck.
We're gonna do some news.
Mm-hmm.
From last week that we didn't get around to because we were running out of time. Peggy is now stamping physical retail boxes of games with a in-game purchase content descriptor tag. This is something that was formerly online only, but as recent efforts in various locations across the world, such as Belgium and Hawaii, which is really weird to say in the same sentence,
two places.
I mean,
they're very similar.
It would be
course.
accurate to call both of them states.
Belgium's a country. It ain't a state. It's a country.
No, but I mean, I don't know about you, but in like American English, it's generally acceptable to like call an autonomous region a state, regardless of like they are the American states, but state is also like synonymous with a lot of like the nation state of most countries.
So what about boxes?
Peggy is going to be stamping a in-game purchases content descriptor on the ratings boxes of physical retail games. This is something that was formerly online. A consumer survey recently showed that 2 in 5 parents of children that play games indicate that their child spends money in games. Hey, this is another reason not to have kids these days. Of those parents, the vast majority, over 8 in 10 of them, that's 80% for those of you who are bad at math, have an agreement of some kind of spending. This can take the form of asking permission before each purchase, a weekly or monthly spending limit, or use of parental control tools, monitoring credit card bills, or the use of prepaid value cards. But only 2% of parents do not monitor their children spending at all. And so this rating descriptor is there to warn parents that their kids might steal their credit cards to buy loot boxes in Overwatch or something.
Let's be honest. Age ratings have never ever factored into any parent ever buying video games. So this ain't either.
Wait, really? My mom paid
on.
attention. My mom was like super strict about it. My dad, on the other hand, was just like, yeah, whatever.
I feel like most parents were probably like your dad.
What about you guys?
I never bought stuff like that.
I don't really.
I didn't
and I
find
don't
the need to do
and
that.
I've sort of realized I don't buy boxed games anymore. And I like boxes.
I like
But
some
being
good
in
plastic.
Japan, I like having the physical stuff. I really do. I have like a pretty decent sized game collection. But like thinking back on it now, like I bought Spider-Man digitally. I buy literally everything on the Switch digitally because I want it right there. So like these are the type of games I wouldn't buy pretty much anyway. So.
Well, it would be awfully
Probably never gonna see
unfortunate
this.
then
Also,
if...
I'm in Japan, so Peggy doesn't affect me.
Also, physical media is still the dominant normal way to buy games in Japan. Or is it changing now?
Yeah.
'Cause that's...
Well, you have like the cards for games in like the convenience and stuff. But yeah, physical all the fucking way. Japan still likes things you can hold.
likes boxes.
Yeah.
So, Matt, you were saying that you were afraid to have children because you're afraid they'll become a Fortnite fan.
Well,
And then they'll spend all your money on Fortnite.
it's just when I see the children these days. Do you think the children these days are the same as when we were growing up playing games?
No,
Old
hell
man
no.
dad.
They got 4chan right out the gate. We had to wait like 15, 16 years for that.
Yeah, it's just I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that the way they grow up, you know, the window is open when they're young like that, and they're just sucking in information. I just don't want them to grow up.
Do you
all
really think, like, if you're 100% honest, do you really think that the generation who was looking at you as a kid didn't say the same thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we had cable
Exactly. That's what I'm
television right
saying.
out the gate. They had to wait 15, 16 years for that.
Yeah, they weren't watching fucking Ed, and Eddie on a Saturday morning.
It was corrupting us. Look at us now.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I'm just ignorant in thinking that, you know, like, this is a
I
different
think
generation.
you've truly embraced. You've gone like super dad. You've gone like full on super dad transformation.
Yeah, well,
You've
I
re-rolled.
don't know. Like, maybe. I don't know. When you get older, you start thinking about kids. You start thinking about everything.
Start thinking about them stealing your credit card to buy
Oh,
the dab
hell
emote
no.
in Fortnite.
I hope the kid is like me when I'm young. Very observant and quiet. And then he just like blossoms when he gets older, and that's it.
It's okay.
Watering him
It's
in
okay,
the
Matt.
ground or something? Is he a plant?
He is definitely a plant. Now it's all going to depend
Also-
on the partner that I get. So
I just want to point out that we assumed the non-existent baby's gender. For whatever the baby may be, I'm sure.
oh, we did I say he?
I'm sure they'll be fucked up from 4chan anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, who browses 4chan these days anyway?
Children.
I heard certain positions that you can have sex in will give you a boy or girl. So
Did you hear it from Cosmopolitan magazine?
Did you read it in your teen Vogue? Did you?
I might have heard it when I was hot. I mean,
Was this a grocery
Yeah.
store magazine? Were the pages sticky?
I think it's a certain strand of weed here in California that you can take.
Is that how they're selling weed now?
Oh, trust me, weed sells on its own, my friend.
Guarantee that you'll have a girl. Just try this certain strand of weed.
That's terrible.
Let's smoke some of that AK-47. Let's smoke some of that sour diesel. Let's smoke some of that Cinderella. Some of that Star Wars. That Skywalker. One day I'm going to do the podcast high. It's going to happen.
This is terrible. We're all terrible. We're terrible people who live in a terrible
You know what
world.
isn't terrible, George? Supposedly Call of Duty Black Ops 4's Battle Royale mode.
Geez, everyone is loving it, but you need codes. So I have a couple friends who are really into Call of Duty. According to them, the Black Ops 4 regular multiplayer mode is whatever. But the Battle Royale mode, the Blackout, which I believe is the nomenclature.
Oh, don't do drugs,
is-
kids. Sorry, go ahead.
What? Don't do Blackout. Well, I don't know, because I'd like to do Blackout. Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4
We used to do
has
this thing
the
in
Blackout
school
mode.
called the Black Box.
Oh my god. You know how
No,
in
the
Call-
Black Box is amazing. You like, in school, speaking of dumb kids, you would like push under the ribs of like another student, like
Oh my
as they're like against the
God.
wall, and they would lose like air to their lungs for a brief second,
Holy
and black out
crap.
for 30 seconds.
That's
Yeah,
something
it's
that
called
like an
Black Box.
anime villain does.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
no, it was just dumb kids knocking each other out for fun.
I remember that. That was so
But yeah,
weird to
Call of
see.
Duty
When
was
the first
good.
time I saw that, I freaked out, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, me too. And when they fucking did it to me, I was like, that was fucking weird.
Wow. Well,
That was really weird.
channeling childhood memories of bullying.
Don't do drugs.
Call of Duty now has a battle royale mode called Blackout. Okay, so it's got a compilation of all of the weapons from the Blackout series. There are some Black Ops series. There are some Black Ops zombies shambling around that drop novelty stuff like grappling hooks and zombie spawners. There's apparently if you look at video clips, you can see this quite instantly. The time to kill is longer than in your typical Call of Duty. That's the thing that's, I think, kind of always steered me away from Call of Duty, is how many fast, frequent, unexpected deaths you're going to get. Here, it looks like you got a good couple seconds to react to danger once it starts coming in. Apparently, armor drops are quite plentiful and easy to find. And that, combined with still, like, fast, relatively speaking, weapons that fire and hit scan, gives it kind of a tactical feel to it.
This kind of doesn't surprise me, because you know, obviously you've had Epic Games make Fortnite, but that was like a modification of a game they already made that wasn't doing particularly well. But now you have like a studio that have been making shooters. They know what they're fucking doing. They know how to make good shooters. Like, as whatever you think about Call of Duty, it's still very good quality content. And now they've gone and they've taken what sort of smaller studios were doing and taking like buggy messes like PUBG. And now they've like been like, here's our version. And it has all the polish of a AAA game. And it has all the crazy things we can do with the money we have. And it doesn't surprise me that it's kind of turned out good. Why would it not?
They also had an opportunity to kind of sort of compile everything from the entire Black Ops series,
doing, and then just
you have futuristic flying gadgets next to World War II era submachine guns, like all in the same game together. It's real cute.
When's the actual game out?
It looks like we are dropping this out on October 12th. The beta's going to extend to PC publicly. Right now you need a pre-order on PS4, but the beta's going to be out on PC on the 15th. Are you guys down? Do you want to get a group going?
Yeah.
If I don't have to buy it.
You don't have to buy it just for the beta, I believe. I was looking forward to playing it last night, but you do need a pre-order to play it on console right now. When it comes out on PC, it's supposed to be public, I believe.
Me and Matt run laptops now. Me and Matt ain't got no chance.
Matt was playing Monster Hunter World on his laptop. He has a whole world of monster hunting he can push on that thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Matt's is like a god's gift.
No,
laptop.
It is not. No, it is not. It's just enough so I can run things. All you gotta do is put things on low or medium.
Then the zombies will look like potatoes.
Yeah, and then your computer sounds like it's about to take, flight.
It's just gonna start
Mine already does that. Mine already does that, running
ground.
Audacity to record this show.
That's amazing.
Here at the Dad and Sons podcast, we have the most professional of production values, which is why we have so many listeners every week who send in their questions. If you would like to send in your question, feel free to shoot us an email to dadandsonspodcast@gmail.com. We will read it on the air every other week between our audience interaction participatory game show segment called Dad Den right now. But to keep that fresh, we do questions. This week, we got a question from Axton, who asks, love the podcast.
Axton asks.
Axton asks.
Sounds like a segment.
Love the podcast and all your senses of humor. It really helps lighten my day. Video games have always been a passion. Thanks, Axton.
Yeah.
Video games have always been a passion, and I love hearing you guys talk about it, which brings me to my question. What is your video game dream job, if you have one? Did you have this dream while you were a kid, or has your gaming dreams changed since then? Are there any hurdles that make this difficult?
Yes.
Yeah. Everything's a hurdle.
Personally, I've always been fascinated with translation, and I'm hoping to be able to translate Japanese games into English by becoming a localization specialist. Of course, this road is difficult. I'll have to pass the N1 proficiency test to even qualify, but I'm hoping that graduating college and becoming a school teacher in Japan will help me reach this goal. If you have any advice on this too, I would love your inputs. I have a feeling I know who can give them that inputs. Keep on smiling, Axton.
I like that he said keep on smiling. That's nice.
I'm smiling right now, Axton, in
Thank you,
honor
Axton.
of your memory. I guess, Liam, do you have any advice for him? And the rest of us, do we have any dream jobs?
This is kind of a weirdly personal question because this is something I've sort of battled with for a long time because I had what I assumed was my dream job. I was going to work for a big studio.
Oh, no.
It didn't turn out exactly how I thought, and it was fun and stuff like that, and I learned a heck of a lot, and it brought me into the industry I'm incredibly passionate about, but it wasn't what I thought it was. But now I kind of know what my dream is with this in this industry, and I get to do a lot of cool stuff, and I get to interview a lot of cool people, and I get to talk about video games with my best buds every week. But I want to make games. I love making games. I spend every day, at least 4 or 5 hours outside of everything else I do, making games. I love making games. I want to be able to be self-sufficient and make my own games with people I enjoy being creative with and doing stuff. And it's really like something I battled with for a long time because growing up, I did want to make games. I remember sending a game called Zombies. I made a design document with my brother and my dad. I remember it was just called Zombies, and we literally sent it to Nintendo of Europe, like in an envelope.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
This was like 1999, maybe, before
that is so cute.
I moved. Yeah, I remember it. It was like a big, thick document with all the pictures of all the different zombies and stuff like that, and it was literally just called Zombies. I remember the front cover of it, and I've always wanted to make games, but making games felt like it was fucking magic. You had to be a fucking magician. I didn't even know what an engine was until I basically started at Rockstar. I had no idea what a fucking engine was or what any of that shit was. And it just always seemed like something completely out of touch. And it wasn't really until I left Rockstar and I felt like my video game path had ended and I was doing something completely different, which was moving to Japan, that I was kind of like, oh, maybe I can get back into it. I found that I really do love making games. I love the process of making games, and being able to make my own means I get to be involved in every aspect of the process. And then I learned how to do stuff using GameMaker, using Unity and engines and stuff like that. And it's now everything I want to do. And I've made games recently, and I'm making a game right now that isn't announced and is in stages.
But looks good.
Various stages. And I'm hoping that I can make games and not have to do anything else. That's what I would dream about. And it's really personal because as I get older and the more I live in Japan and the more I progress through life, I feel like it's slipping away a little bit sometimes. Because life, as Matt will attest, gets too real sometimes.
Yep, it does.
Which means it's hard to focus on stuff like that. Even though 70% of my time and my life is dedicated to video games, it's still hard to chase those tiny dreams. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. And in regards to coming to Japan to translate games, yeah, getting N1 is a definite must. You have to have N1 and basically be better than N1, which is really difficult because N1 is like writing fucking scientific essays in Japanese. It's so hard. And I would say come to Japan, make sure you like it before you do all that. If you're interested in localizing games, take game scripts and localize them. Practice it. So many of my friends are localizers. You don't have to speak Japanese to be a localizer. You need to be able to be a writer because localizing isn't translating. They're two completely different things. Translating is done by companies that just direct translate them into the very standard language, and then a localizer takes that language and makes it more suitable for the target audience it's aiming for, which sometimes can cause trouble. But if you want to do that, take game scripts, localize them, translate them, practice them, have examples of stuff that you've done. Even if it's not for anything, just take scripts and translate them, and then people can see good examples of what you would do. Come to Japan, see how you like it, but don't come over here, get a job that's going to take up like 90% of your time, and then you can't practice or you can't study. Like, focus on studying Japanese and all that kind of stuff if you want to do it. Be passionate about the games industry. Follow people who are in localization, especially like people over here who work at like Capcom and 8-4 and Nintendo and stuff like that. And yeah.
Well, mine's a little bit out there. I've always wanted to do like the directing of a video game.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I
That
guess,
sounds like the fun role.
We got a real David Cage over here.
Ooh.
Yeah, and just, I mean, I'm not naive. I know that's like, you got to really understand how a game is made and worked and budget and all that type of stuff. But I always wanted to actually help run it, make it from scratch, and actually know what's good. I feel like I would be able to know what is a good product that people would actually like, and be able to toss that out. Other than that, like, probably like making like the trailers and the movies within the game and stuff like that. That would be pretty cool. Like, people use Unreal Editor.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Like the in-game universe advertisements and commercials and stuff.
Yeah. I would be down with that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that stuff always looked like it would have been a lot of fun to write and voice, and like whoever makes the commercials in Grand Theft Auto probably has a lot of creative licenses. I don't know. Liam might know some shady underbelly to that side of those games.
No, that kind of stuff is like, that's all around Laszlo. Laszlo does all that shit. And he's actually super good at that stuff. And
so
collaborates
you want
with like, a lot
Laszlo's
of
job.
People. Yeah, Laszlo does all the radio stuff. And
wait, Laszlo's a real
he's
person?
pretty damn... Yeah, he's a real person.
He was a real radio host before Rockstar hired him,
He was a DJ,
right?
yeah. And then they made him like the actual character of himself in GTA 5, and he's like that weird creepy TV host.
I didn't know that he worked on the other radio stuff though.
Yeah, he did. He like co-did
makes
it with the
sense.
Hauser Brothers.
So
what about you, George? Considering like you live the dream.
Yeah. He asks, what is your video game dream job if you have one? I guess I'm in the very, very fortunate case of being someone who kind of wanted to be a video game journalist when I was a kid, and then grew up to kind of sort of turn that into something. It's more like the dream now is altering the business model into something that makes a lot more sense. And into some kind of video game journalism that, first of all, obviously pays enough to live a comfy middle class income level. Second is to have something that like hits high standards.
Sure, I wanted to make documentaries for a while, like video game documentaries.
You still can do that.
You gotta have a lot of time. You have to be dedicated. You can't just do that on their off time to make it good. You can't just do that on your off time, for sure. But yeah, go ahead, George.
Yeah, no, I mean, Danny O'Dwyer is, I guess, both what you and I want to be when we grow up then.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sure Danny will love to hear that.
Because dream video game job is writing about and studying and reporting on the people and the games who are involved in this a beautiful, funny, enjoyable, nerdy world of ours. The struggle, I guess, at this point is figuring out how to have quality and money and workflow and a streamlined lifestyle, a work-life balance, all at the same time, and it's a lot harder than I was expecting. I mean, okay, so first of all, I had a very, very hard time breaking into the system after college. I was basically given the advice of do the job for free before you get the job. I was applying to newspapers and websites everywhere, and the YouTube channel is what took off instead. I kind of, sort of, in a weird way, consider that a failure of the system I was expecting to train really hard and work into. And I feel like getting more of a more friendly, more welcoming ecosystem into video game writing and journalism is what my dream is now. Is like doing something to help make the job market better, basically.
It's a respectable thing to do.
It's a confusing one that I don't.
Video game
I feel
industry
like,
is fucking hard to get
I
into.
feel like I need an MBA at this point to like move on to the next level of that process, and I don't have it like fully crystallized in mind. I guess that's the sort of like weird ennui of doing the thing you wanted to do when you were a kid for a good 5 to 6 years and now wondering what's next, you know? I don't know if you know, but maybe you know.
Yeah, I get it. I 100% get it. That's how I felt after Rockstar.
It's weird, isn't it?
Are we still on the first question?
It is weird.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, we should move on. We should move on.
We're getting existential. We don't do that on Dad and Sons.
We
Keep
got
it light
Jack.
and hearty.
Jack came in. He says, "Hi, Dads
Keep on
and Sons. This weekend for my 26th birthday, I'm getting a Nintendo Switch.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jack. Enjoy your Nintendo Switch.
Happy birthday.
Jack.
Tanjobi.
Jack is excited. Oh, enjoy your insurance as well. If you live in America, get ready to pay hundreds, at least 800 a month at 26 and onwards. Rest of your life.
800 a month?
800.
Oh, okay.
That was really confusing.
Just one. Yeah, American healthcare is really confusing. Hi, Dads and Sons. This weekend for my 26th birthday, I'm going to be cast out from my parents. My warranty on my healthcare expires, and I then have to pay for it myself. So I'm going to get a Nintendo Switch. I'm excited about it, and I'm looking for some recommendations. Disclaimer, I embellished a bit of that previous sentence. For context, I haven't really played games since I was 17 or 18 when I had a PSP.
How did he end up listening to Dad and
so you're
Sons
26.
then?
Maybe I've known people who don't play video games but are like incredibly absorbed in the memes and the media of
How do you get
of
to
gamers.
here, though?
Wow.
So Jack is turning 26. They haven't played games since they were 17 or 18, so they have like a good decade to go through here. I'm a little jealous of Jack, actually, because going through this stuff for the first time years after the fact is always a blast.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've missed out on at least 2 generations of gaming. An exception to this is that I played through Hyperlight Drifter on my laptop after George's review. I like the idea of exploring some more of those kinds of indie titles, which I think the Switch is well set up for.
If I remember correctly, George's review of Hyperlight Drifter wasn't exactly glowing.
It was a little negative, but I don't know. Maybe I was just
George
being a
doesn't know
whiny
good
asshole.
games. So,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
What would you recommend? Don't worry, Matt. Hollow Knight is already on my list.
Hollow
Nice. Hollow Knight. Play Hollow Knight.
Play that
Play
sucker.
Iconoclasts.
Or in the blind
Don't play the
forest.
Into
Message
the
game.
Breach.
I mean, you can.
There are so many good 2D indie world buildings.
Yes. And also, there's like loads of ports of stuff that was in the generation that you missed.
Hyperlight Drifter is probably going to be on the Switch sooner or later.
It is. It's already out.
Definitely do Stardew Valley. I would recommend the portability of that. Makes it an incredibly addictive beast that's hard to put down, and the game is cute and wholesome with interesting dark stories underneath. Breath of the Wild? You think you'd like Breath? Yeah, if he likes Hyperlight Drifter.
I like the idea of exploring. Oh, that's exploring more indie titles. Well, indie titles, yeah, I guess.
But Breath of the Wild is also like it's got a little bit of heart. It has probably the closest that AAA comes to having indie charm.
Yeah. It's very beautiful to look at, and the world is very, very, very beautiful.
Right.
There's loads of games on the Switch. Yoko's Express thing, the like pinball platformer thing, that's really good. You've got like Dandara, Cave Story. If you haven't played Cave Story before, you can play Cave Story on the Switch.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And yeah, there's loads of ports of stuff. You can play Saints Row the Third now.
Or in the blind forest.
Ori and the Blind Forest is on the Xbox.
Sense.
Wait, that's not the Switch. What are you talking about?
Enter the Gungeon. Wait, is
Enter the Gungeon? Yeah.
Enter the Gungeon's on Switch.
Yeah.
If
Ori's like an Xbox exclusive, right?
I thought it was on PC as well.
Well, yeah, Microsoft, yeah.
You could always play Dead Cells. It has one of the best representations of video game combat that Philip Myuson ever saw in their life.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Jesus. Get on with it. There you go. There's loads of games.
Yep. You picked up a good
Next
console.
caller.
John, next caller is John. John says, hello, George of the Jungle and friends. I love the Thief games. Fuck the reboot! And stealth in general, but I really don't like recent games in the genre as I feel they don't commit to their premise. Dishonored is always praised for reviving a certain niche, but I have a big problem with these games and others following its footsteps. What's the point in having a game with stealth when you give them psychopathic alternatives? Where are the fail states for killing someone? Where are the rewards for ghosting or being a pacifist? Is there a game that accomplishes this, or is this another niche genre that has been flushed down the toilet? I wonder what you guys think. Sincerely, John.
Well, George, this is you.
And unfortunately, I don't have good news for you, John. Stealth games have been fucking neutered horrendously. The primary means of interaction with other people in video games is still violence, killing them dead. Hitman's nice, though. Which is weird to say in that same sentence, but your primary interaction with other people in Hitman is like fooling them into thinking you're another person. The combat is it feels not as good as the stealth does, and that's, if anything, stealth has been folded into a lot of action games, but I feel like that's where the line gets drawn between knowing if you're playing a stealth game or not. Like, is it more fun to sneak or is it more fun to not? And even a ostensibly action game that has really fun stealth can turn into a stealth game for me. Like Metro. Might want to give the Metro games a try. They're short, linear Call of Duty style corridor shooters. However, they have really, really fleshed out stealth systems. If you turn the HUDs off, they feel very organic and natural. Let's see, what else is out there? It is sparse. There's Hitman, there's Metro,
Surprised you
Prey.
didn't mention Metal Gear yet.
Well, that's because there hasn't been a good one in fucking forever, and the decline of Metal Gear very much mirrors the decline of the genre.
Oof.
Yikes.
But, yeah.
Take that, Kojima.
No, if you want to
Don't worry,
play
the
a good
mailman.
stealth game, as I have discovered this past week, your best bet is still loading up MGS3, setting it to
Jesus.
European
There it
Extreme,
is. There it is.
and learning the controls.
I just blew my load too quickly.
So you guys want to follow up on that with anything, or are we just gonna stay at that
I
depressing,
don't
like
know.
really three choices, basically?
I found games like Dishonored to be quite boring.
In
so
stealth,
I'm not
it's
the best
so
person.
boring stealth, dude.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I feel so weird killing people in that game. But my God, it's way better.
Yeah, it's like just get up behind one and someone just
it's-
slash their throat.
Dishonored
It's
is a
like,
stealth game with great combat and bad. It's like the opposite of what I was just
Yeah.
trying to find.
I just feel like first-person stealth is just like something that has never really been done very well.
Well, Thief and Deus Ex. And
But even
the
Thief is like clunky all
0451
over the place. And
games.
Deus Ex technically is like barely. It's like switches between third person and first person. And like in the stealth sections when you're creeping around like vents and not vents but like against walls and stuff, it's always third person, so you can see like it changes to like a Metal Gear perspective in the recent Deus Ex games.
Ooh, did you play Alien Isolation? Actually, maybe that's the sort
Mark
of thing
of the
that
Ninja,
John.
that's a good stealth game.
Yeah. There's
Mark of the Ninja is a great stealth game. It's completely different from what you.
2D.
Yeah.
I've been thinking
Yeah.
of like the first
But it's
person
good.
stealth. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark of the Ninja is a really good stealth game.
But yeah, I mean, in first person, I feel like it can work so long as there's some buttons there for peeking. In Deus Ex, it looks really, really stupid walking in front of guards who are obviously blind, but if you can, like, peek through a lattice or out of cover, I feel like that's just, like, realistic and also accessible enough to make first-person stealth looks like it makes sense. I sure as hell am not going to recommend the Far Cry games.
That's like balls to the wall mayhem.
They got stealth systems in them, though, and they have entire
Ugh.
upgrade trees for them, and it's just not
Just play
as
Spider-Man.
fun.
You've got plenty of forced stealth sections.
No, play good stealth games, because John has asked for...
Actually, speaking of, there are parts in Spider-Man where you totally can approach it in stealth as Spider-Man, and it's incredibly easy. Like, you just swing from beam to beam and no one sees you, and then you just like, if you put all your upgrades into like one skill tree, you can take down anyone immediately and not get spotted. You can play Spider-Man. There you go.
Do you think John would like the new Wolfenstein games, or?
No.
Well, but you can play them.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
don't get your hopes up, John. Don't spend a lot of money on them. But the two new Wolfenstein games do have stealth that's okay.
No.
I feel like you're a bit shit out of luck. Stealth is like...
It's getting
Stealth?
molded
Progressing
into
away
other
from that.
things, usually less satisfyingly than the
It has to be
dedicated stealth games.
It has to be hybridly built into stuff now.
He's gonna buy Wolfenstein and be very disappointed.
Yeah, he's gonna be angry at George, and we're gonna have lost a listener because of you, George.
Ugh. Well,
I feel like Hitman's kind of your only option, really.
and that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you go to Google and type in best stealth games, let's see, 2004. Ooh, look at all those. Holy shit. All right, now get on Google and type in best stealth games 2017.
Oh shit! Yeah,
yeah, that's
MGS3,
a much
Deep Deadly
short-
Shadows, Hitman Contracts, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, The Chronicles of Riddick. They're pretty fucking good, actually.
And if you type in 2017, the first one on the list is Sniper Elite 4.
Wow.
Shooting Hitler in the balls.
If you type in 2016, the list is the same length. It generally gets bigger the lower the year is. Stealth games are not coming out. And even when they are, Google is calling Assassin's Creed stealth games, which
You can always play those wonderful stealth games.
thematically you might be correct in some alien planet, but when they are in your hands, they do not play very stealthily.
Yeah.
Oh, 2011 looks like a bad year too.
Well, there you go. Moral of 2018, we can give you lots of Switch recommendations, but stealth, we can't give you any.
Yeah. What that nicely encapsulates the times, doesn't it?
It does.
If you
Maybe you should make a stealth indie title, and we'll tie all this together.
Maybe that could be your video game dream job.
I don't think I'd make a very good stealth game. I do not have the patience.
But
Well.
maybe it could be someone's dream out there. You know, there's all kinds of weird people on the internet.
including us.
Yeah.
And with that, we end.
If you think we answered your question well enough, you should go like us on iTunes. If you can even like us on iTunes, leave us a review. 5
Yeah,
stars.
review us on iTunes.
Only
We
5
actually
stars.
do have 5 stars.
Tell us what you think of the wonton soup.
Yeah.
We
And-
actually do have 5 stars, surprisingly.
So go do that. We haven't pimped ourselves out in forever. We should
Enough.
probably start doing that if we want this podcast to grow.
So Yelp.com, search for Dad and Sons. I believe there's
Yeah.
a few of them out there. Let me do a
Is
Google
there
search
really?
real quick. Raising
not.
boys, how
Yeah.
to strengthen the father-son relationship. 7 things a son needs from his father from All Pro Dad. Oh my God, there's an Etsy store called Dad and Son.
Is it ran by us?
Unfortunately, no. It's also Dad and Son. There's not a plural one.
It's our sister company. Here in the Dad and Sons, we're a pretty big company over here.
Dad and Son Pressure Washers. Menlo Park, California.
Come to all of us for your pressure washing
Can we get
needs.
some T-shirts for Dad and Sons? Like
I
a
bet.
dad shirt and then a small kid shirt for the son. We're not very PG-13.
Holy shit!
So I
Yeah.
don't
We
think
have
that would work.
61 5-star ratings on iTunes.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is surprising.
Go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, leave us reviews of our soup and our service.
If you gonna rate us lower than 5 stars, then just stop listening.
Just do it again.
No.
Do it again.
Just keep listening, but don't rate lower than 5 stars.
Yeah, please don't. I have mouths to
Now
feed.
that you told them, they're gonna go do it. This is the worst podcast I've ever listened to.
And if you see it on Twitter, retweet it.
And
You
if
even
you see
edit
us
out
in
all the
real
racist
life,
stuff.
tell us you love us.
Talk to Matt more on Twitter.
Matt needs to be on Twitter more.
I'm gonna try a tweet a day.
He needs Twitter friends and California
tweet
friends.
anything at Matt. Just tweet at him.
Oh God, no, please.
Anything.
Literally anything.
A tweet a
just
day.
say hi.
Lit-
A tweet a day will
Just
keep the anxiety
the
away.
words literally anything. And then we'll know you reached this far.
Oh God, no. Don't
This
do
can be
me.
a survey. This is how we can check.
Man, I've seen the numbers. We have a lot of viewers. Please, no.
If I didn't stay up till 1:40 a.m. and I don't see one person tweet, quote, literally anything to Matt next week, I'm going to be severely disappointed.
Oh well.
If I'm not at the Tokyo Game Show next week and
sorry.
I don't see a tweet at Matt saying literally nothing,
Matt, I'm
I'm
sorry.
going to be...
This is
I'm
probably
gonna-
just
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be
like one.
I'm sorry.
Just like one guy.
Even
and
if-
I'll be like, hey, what's up, man?
Even
How
if,
you doing?
even if there's just one, I'm going to be proud. And I know who it'll be. It'll be fucking Nitro Rad. It'll be James.